here. All right. So, as always, we start in our seated position. So, seated, comfortable position, you can sit up against the wall, or if you really feel inclined to lie down, then go ahead and lie down. And just get comfortable. You roll your shoulders down the back a few times, finding some calm sensation as you close your eyes and take a few deep breaths on your own. Inhaling and just sighing it out. Inhaling and sighing it out. Inhaling and letting go. I think there's a collective feeling of feeling scattered, like as things start to open up again, lots of things going on in our worlds. And I know I'm feeling scattered these days with lots of information coming at me and how I respond to it. So the point of the practice is in fact to be able to respond with clarity, right? And being able to respond with truth from our hearts and not so much react to what's going on around us. Like we do react, that's human nature, but being able to respond is something that meditation can help cultivate. And I'll give an example of also bringing mindfulness into your life. So think about when you're driving and sometimes you go from your house to the store, and sometimes when I get to the store, I think, I don't even remember how I got here. Like, I don't remember stopping at the stop sign, stopping at the stoplight, like my mind was off somewhere else. And so it's just bringing mindfulness into that, not just like while we're sitting here, but like while we're driving, for instance, or making food, or doing anything in our life, just being like very well aware of our surroundings and what's happening internally as well. So, get my little gong here. Let's come to this space together. And I'd like to offer a bit of a breathing exercise before we delve into our seated meditation to start off with. This is called the bee's breath. We've done it before. If you've never done it before, it's basically breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, and then you make a humming noise like a bee as you breathe out. And so we'll just do the version without having to add in the hand position. You can close your ears if you like. Sometimes that's nice to draw inward, but you don't have to. So it goes like this. We breathe in through the nose, and then there's a low hum through the back of the throat. As you breathe out. It's almost like you're saying Om with your mouth closed, or you can just think of the hum of a bee. So we'll do that about 10 rounds. Start here. Inhale in through the nose and do your hum. Inhale and hum. Inhale and hum. Inhale and hum. Inhale, hum. Inhale, hum. Inhale, hum. Inhale, hum. Last one, inhale and hum. Just breathe easy. And that these breath is meant to be calming. Notice if that is the case for you. Notice if that's not the case for you. And just breathe easy. Start to become more aware. Maybe you're still feeling that reverberation of sound move through your body, so become aware of that. Become aware of sensation. Sensation of your belly expanding, your lungs, your chest. Become aware of senses. Maybe you feel air on your skin, on your cheeks. Become aware of sounds occurring around you. Maybe there's something going on outside the room. Maybe there's a sound inside the room. And maybe there's even a sound within your own body. The sound of your breath through your digestive system. Yeah, just noticing. Okay, there's a car going by, or there's a dog barking, or whatever the case may be. And I'm not attaching any meaning to these sounds, but just noticing, observing, coming back to the breath. Any sense of taste, noticing. Any smells, noticing. And finding this quiet, this soundless hum occurring as you breathe in and as you breathe out, this swishing, smooth wave of breath. As you notice your senses, your eyes close. Soften the skin on top of the eyelids. Let the eyes melt back into the sockets. And then start to notice and become aware of how you're feeling. What is the emotional state that's most dominant in you? For a lot of us, going on in the world around us, this feeling of overwhelmingness, of, I don't know, what is that feeling? Heaviness, maybe? You're feeling it in the chest. And what else is there in your emotional state? Sadness? Maybe there's something else entirely that I haven't named. So just sit with it. The idea is not to push it away. And the same thing with our thoughts, not about pushing our thoughts away. It's about just noticing them, meeting them, again, with kindness, sincerity, compassion for ourselves, for what's arising within us. And then pick an area in your body. So earlier I was doing my practice and I kept trying to focus on my belly, but my attention kept going into my heart. Belly, I was like, okay, I'm gonna anchor into my belly, but then I just kept going back here into the chest. And so, maybe there's an area of the body that you're being drawn to for whatever reason. Maybe it's your palms. Maybe it's your feet. But common areas, the belly, the chest, the forehead, the space between the eyes, these energy centers tend to draw us somewhere along that central axis. So find where that is in your body. Maybe it's your belly again, maybe it's your palms, somewhere else. And then see if you can just focus your awareness there. Maybe it's the heart and the chest, a lot of feeling going on in that area. Just be witness to the breath in this specific area, whatever area you're being drawn to. Follow the ebb and the flow of your breath. And the silent hum. And whatever area you're being drawn to, maybe it's your palms again, or your chest, or your belly, or your feet, or your head. See if on your next couple exhales, you can send just some softness to that area. So wherever we're being drawn to, there tends to be, like, that's where we're feeling heaviest in our body. Maybe that's where we're holding on to something emotional. There's gripping going on in your throat, for instance. So see if you can unwind some of that, wherever you're feeling it, wherever the awareness is going. Taking about 5 breaths on your own to send some release, some softness with your exhale into whatever area you're being drawn to. And if you're stuck, you feel like you can't get out of your thoughts, there's this constant flow of thinking, approaching your thoughts also with non-judgment, with just a level of observation, helps us start to create some space between ourselves and our thoughts. Begin to take tiny steps away from the thoughts as you observe it. It's like you're observing a train going by, and those thoughts are cars and the train connected to one another, just going by, a train of thoughts, never ending. And taking a step back, recognizing that here and now is the opportunity to work towards, results vary, to work towards creating space between ourselves and our thoughts, and therefore tapping into this space of calmness, sincerity, clarity, compassion that exists below the surface of the thoughts. And so I observe, there's a thought, there's a feeling, where's the heaviness and softening. And we'll continue on this path. Maybe your focus in your body has shifted. You now are not in the belly, but you're in the chest, or you're not in the chest, but you're in your palms. Wherever your awareness is going in your body, continue to send softness with your exhales. Continue to observe the senses, sounds, smells, tastes. Eyes soften with the eyes melting back into sockets so we can rest our sense of sight. Whatever's coming up as emotion, meet it with non-judgmental compassion, cultivating a response mechanism in ourselves to meet whatever is going on around us with a better way of critically responding instead of reacting. So let's be here for just about 2 minutes in silence. So you can go deeper into this calm underneath the surface. Just sit and meet with kindness, whatever comes up. Wherever you are, whatever is occurring internally, this meditative practice is internal work that helps us um, contribute to external positivity, right, and peace in our lives. So whatever's going on internally, just whatever it is, making a peace with it. It is what it is, as they say. It is what you're feeling, it is what you're thinking, it is all those things. And maybe being able to make some space for kindness for yourself. From here, opening the palms, you can keep the eyes closed if you like. And just bring your arms up overhead, just to stretch up. So if you're lying down, go ahead and find seated. And we'll bring the arms up and then just point the palms down. We'll do this a few times. Inhale and bring the arms up, and meet all 10 fingers together up overhead. So you look up or just move the neck gently as you move the arms, exhaling down and inhaling back up, feeling the energy rise. Exhaling, bringing the arms down. Just move on your own breath. And whenever we're moving or doing anything, you don't have to completely mirror me because we're different people, right? We have different bodies and different things that we experience in our body. And so, just moving at your own pace and modifying as we go along in order to honor your own space in your own body. Let's do one more full round, and we'll take it all the way up. Again, going at your own pace. Everyone's breath is unique. And then coming back down, rolling the shoulder blades down the back and taking one hand down, reaching one arm up, and then just reaching it over for a breath. Feels nice to stretch through the side of the legs. Very slow meditative movement to start off with. And then come back up, reaching both arms up, and go to the other side. Maybe stay for about 2 breaths. Just reaching a little bit more, finding more space. And inhale back up and go to this side one more time. Stay with the breath. Eyes closed or soft gaze. And inhale back up. Exhale over. Staying with the breath. And inhale back up both arms and a little spinal twist here. Really gentle movement to start off with. So don't jerk the shoulders or the torso, but just kind of let it go on its own. And we'll start to switch sides on the breath. So as you exhale, do a little twist. Inhale, come center. Exhale, a little twist. Inhale, come center. Exhale, twist. Noticing the spine, noticing the arms and the shoulders as they gradually add in movement. And then next time you twist, gently hold it off to the side, rib cage moving, a little bit more shoulders, sitting up tall, and maybe that final breath going that one direction, you turn the neck, a little stretch one way or the other way, whichever feels best. And inhale, come back to center. Exhale, go the other way. Just linger in that twist for a moment, feeling that wringing out sensation, turning the head, or not, if that doesn't feel good. And inhale back to center, reaching the arms up. As you exhale, meet your hands through to center, and just that little bit of movement. How do you feel in your shoulders and your spine? Starting to wake it up. Legs are probably still pretty stiff, but what's going on too internally in the mind and the heart. And then just take a moment to figure out what you want your focus to be for the rest of your practice. So it's a word or phrase, something really simple. It can just be something like de-stress. That's what I want my focus to be, and that's what I've been really feeling I need. And always an option to send loving energy out into the world, to yourself, to someone particular. Can offer this mantra of may all beings be free of suffering and be happy, and may I in some way contribute to the happiness and freedom of suffering of other beings. Well, that's just one that I'll offer. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu, that is the Sanskrit version. And just take a deep breath to set your focus, your intention from your heart. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice. Okay, let's come onto our mats or just on the ground without a mat, and we'll come into a tabletop position. So for some of us, being in tabletop can really be problematic on the wrists, in which case you can double over the mat and create more cushion for the palm, or you can be on the fists or the outer edges there, just being careful not to lock the joints. Or you can skip entirely and be on the forearms. So there's many ways to modify here. I'm on my hands, but you don't have to be. Spreading the hands, pushing the palms in, inhaling, bringing the heart forward, dropping the belly. Now hang out here for a moment. Just feel this stretch. Open up the chest, draw the shoulders back, drop the belly, and there's some arcing in the lower back. Inhaling here, staying with the exhale. You should feel a stretching sensation across the belly. Take another inhale and really pull your shoulders back, pull your sternum forward, and try not to crank the neck. The natural tendency, neck moves more than other parts of the spine. On your next exhale, start to pull your belly up and in. You might start to feel some stiffness there. So notice that. Trying to keep the shoulders over the wrists and pushing up through the upper back, dropping down the tailbone, and just staying here for a moment, drawing the chin in. And on your next exhale, really empty out, draw your belly up into the spine. And on your next inhale, start to go forward. And as we move through this physical practice, and we begin to notice where the mind goes. So we're just going to go back and forth into these two movements and try to be present with your breath and your body, whatever's coming up. It's all just part of this practice, this mirror that we can kind of look at ourselves, our patterns, even in the body, and begin to understand a bit more and become a little more flexible too. All right, let's do one more. There's one more round here. And then after that round, come into a flat back, so neutral spine, belly slightly toned in, and inhale and take one arm up. And so, of course, you can do this if you're on the forearm too. As you exhale, take it down. Inhale, take the other arm up. And exhale, take it down. Inhale this arm up, opening up. Exhale, take it down. And inhale this arm up. Notice your range of motion, trying to keep it more in your natural range. So if your range is here, it's fine. Go a little bit further without having to crank so much. Yeah. And then next time you take the arm up, go ahead and hold it wherever your range of motion is. And just slowly bring the hand onto the lower back and begin to gently peel back the shoulder a bit more, opening the chest, maybe gazing up if that feels okay. Take a breath here, inhale and exhale. Inhale and reach the arm up again. Exhale, bring it down. And notice how the side of the waist and the hip kind of comes along for the ride. Okay, just notice. And then go to the other side. Inhale, bring the arm up. Bring it onto the lower back. Trying to rotate from the shoulder, not so much the hip and the side of the waist. It may start to turn as well. Taking a breath there. Inhaling back up and exhaling down to this little side to side movement. Begin to walk your hands over to one side and swing your hips over to the other side. Be here for a moment. You can bring the forearms down if you like, but we should really be feeling that stretch in the opposite side of the waist. So taking a breath here, inhale and exhale. Inhaling, coming upright, and exhale, go to the other side. Yeah, finding that deep breath, feeling that stretch down the arm, the side of the waist, down back into our hip. Inhale and exhale. Okay. Inhale, coming back to center, and then slowly coming up here onto the knees. You take one foot forward. I'm going to start with the right, but you can start with the left if you like. Knee over ankle, and then some cushion underneath this knee if it's feeling tender. So if you got a blanket or something, it's a cloth you can grab, go for it. And then this knee is just going to come over the ankle, not over the foot. All right. And so you may have to walk it a little more forward in order to do that. Just sink in for a moment. Lift up your chest, draw your shoulders back, and feel what this feels like. This foot can be untucked or tucked, depending on what feels okay. And just take another exhale and soften your throat and go a little deeper into that lunge when you walk the foot forward a bit more. And then begin to straighten out through the leg. You feel what that feels like to straighten out. Feeling stretch here, the back of the leg. I'm still planting my foot into the ground, lifting up all the toes, rooting in with a big toe, the side of the pinky knuckle, and the heel. And then just gently lowering the toes down. And now begin to go forward. Now we'll inhale as we come up and exhale forward. Inhale, come up and exhale forward. Inhale, straighten up. It's not about speed. It's about going into it with Awareness of the body, what can you do? What's paining, what to reel back on, and being present, really. And flexibility comes over time. And for some of us, it's the amount of effort we put forth. It's not the over time getting that flexibility, right? Because touching our toes is sometimes natural for some of us and sometimes really hard for others. So let's be here and bring the arms up. And then just while you're here with your arms up, see if you can pull the belly in a little bit, drop the tailbone down and stretch through your hip flexor on this side a bit more. So trying to flatten the back, lengthen up through the spine, gaze up here, inhale. And as you exhale, take your hands down to either side of that front leg. Begin to straighten out through that front leg. And this time lift the foot if that's possible. Pull the toes back towards the head. Sometimes I like to move my hips very slowly from side to side to release out the tailbone if that feels good. Maybe try that. And then just find stationary for a moment. Really lifting up through the chest. So trying to find a flat back and going forward, leading with the sternum, going a little bit deeper into that stretch. Take another breath here. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale, one more exhale. And it may just be your natural breath. It may be a heated breath. That just comes to me because I'm used to it for the practice, but may not feel natural to keep the breath. And so come forward again, and now take the hands onto the inside of that front foot and be here for a moment. So the front knee is pinning in towards the midline. The back foot is either tucked or top of the foot pushing into the ground. And you may just be here for a moment. If you want to, feel like you want to go a little bit deeper, offer this stretch for our hamstrings. By walking one arm underneath and to the outside of the leg, the other arm comes out wide. And maybe more upright here. You may be skipping entirely this stretch. We're trying to connect the upper arm with the upper calf muscle and create a stretch for the hamstring. And indeed, you feel it in the hips to the hip flexor. Yeah. So just take a moment here, take a breath, inhale, exhale, wherever you are. Don't have to certainly do what I do or try to crunch to get there. All right, come back to center if you're not there already, and then just begin to release this leg out. Maybe a little wiggle out. Okay, come to a child's pose where our knees are together and we're folding in. So child's pose is normally knees out wide, arms out in front. The classical pose, we're just doing this sort of accordion fold in for a moment to feel the difference. And you feel the difference between the one side that you just did, not the other side. Feel what that feels like to have that imbalance, to have that unevenness. And just take an extra breath here. Exhale easy out through the mouth. And inhale, slowly begin to come upright, relax the shoulders, and we'll switch sides. So I'm doing my left, maybe you're to the left and now you're doing the right. And remember, it's this progression into these little deeper stretches. So front knee over ankle, back behind is totally fine. Just sometimes when we bring the knee forward over the foot and hold it for a while, it can pull in this attachment to the knee and can cause some issues. So holding here for a moment, finding a steady gaze, even closing the eyes if you like. Back foot is active on the ground, trying not to sickle the foot, but trying to straighten it, or toes are tucked. Okay. And then start to straighten the leg and hold it here for a moment. Lift your toes. I want to get used to not gripping the ground with the toes crunching in, but rather I'm using the big toe mound, the pinky knuckle, and the heel as our sort of quad or our tripod holding into the ground. And then the feet, the toes are down, but they're not crunching in. And then as you exhale, Begin to bend in. Inhale, straighten out. Exhale, bend in. Inhale, straighten out. Exhale, bend in. Inhale, straighten out. Exhale, bend in. Slow movements here on your own pace, own breath. All right, let's do one more full round. And then next time we bend in, hold it here again, not crunching with the toes. Start to pull the belly in, drop the tailbone down. Automatically, this hip flexor feels it. Demand more stretch there. Find what you can there. And then bring the arms up. Soften the shoulders as you straighten out the arms. My arms are kind of wonky. I have that little bend naturally in the elbow. So everybody's body is different. We get to know our body a bit better as we notice different poses. And take one more breath here. Maybe look up. And slowly start to straighten out through that front leg and maybe lift the front foot if you can, pulling the toes back. Again, lifting up here. Normally I like to use blocks, but we just make do with what we have. We've got blocks at home, we can place them here. But we can modify a lot of poses even without having to use blocks. Pull the toes back, get even more stretch. Maybe you sink back a little bit further with that opposite hip here. Feel it in the back of the leg. Taking an extra breath here. Exhale out through the mouth. And then begin to bend into that front knee. Walk the hands here. And maybe we're here with a little more stretch. We can walk the foot a little bit more forward. And maybe just stay here. It's a good starting point. Trying to get that front knee in towards the upper arm, upper shoulder. And then walking the hand maybe outside. We kind of weave it through the leg. This arm comes outside. And I'm primarily trying to create a little bit more stretch in the hips and stretch the hamstring. And also, the hip flexors attached here. And you may feel the outer hips as well. Might be some IT band stuff going on in that back leg. Yeah, so just notice here. Taking one more breath, maybe going a little deeper, even as we soften into it. So not gripping the pelvis or the pelvic floor, but rather softening to find a bit more stretch. And then slowly release it out. Begin to bring this leg out, shake it out. And we'll keep the knees underneath the hips, lock the hands forward into a heart melting pose. So we can be here with our forearms on the ground. Forearms can be lifted, head on the ground or not. And pretty much like our butts in the air. And we're trying to melt the chest forward. So big stretch in our shoulders now. We're going to switch gears from the legs and the hips to the shoulders, the sides of the waist, the rib cage, the arms. Come into your breath. Take 3 easy breaths here. And then slowly come upright. Begin to walk one foot at a time, gently forward. So our feet are on the ground now, and we're just melting forward. And hopefully that stretch that we did in our legs, we feel it in our glutes. We're able to straighten the legs a bit more, and we're able to find a deeper fold. Maybe the ground is there, maybe it's not. Okay, great, either way. Maybe you grab onto your elbows here, that feels nice. Sometimes it's nice to interlace the hands and gently place the palms on either side of the back of the neck to release here. So certainly modify if you need to. If this is dizzying, you can come to halfway without having to bring the head forward. All right, one more exhale here.
And then slowly release the arms. Soften the knees, and it's like you're pulling up an anchor from the bottom of the ocean. Let your arms be dead weight. Shake them out, shake out your head, and slowly just pull that anchor up. Easy does it as we come up because we haven't stood up yet, so nice and slow and steady. And then come to standing. It feels nice to stand here for a moment. So roll the shoulders back, open up the chest. Find mountain pose, get grounded. Come back to your breath. Just check the time real close. Okay, good. Good time. Okay. Back to your breath here. Yeah. So I'm gonna work guide us through 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar A, traditional sun salutation. And the first round we'll go pretty slow, going through each pose. With detail in the second round, we'll go a little bit more with our breath. Maybe we'll do 3 rounds. See what we can do. So we're here at the top of the mat, mountain pose. Come back to your breath, your intention. Get into your body, be present. And on the inhale, bring your arms up overhead. As you exhale, forward fold, and of course you can bend the knees as you go down. Inhale, we find this halfway lift, or Ardha Uttanasana. So halfway to a forward fold is Ardha, half. And as we exhale, it's just back to our forward fold, or Uttanasana. And then we plant the fingertips and slowly step the legs back one at a time. So we can come into a plank or a modified plank on the knees. And I'm going to skip chaturanga tonight. We're just going to see if we can lower down controlled without dropping the hips first, but lower the whole body like you're lowering a plank of wood down to the ground. Elbows into the midline instead of this traditional push-up, yoga push-up, where elbows are in and you're just lowering down, very controlled, the whole body down to the ground. Untuck the toes once you get there. Elbows pin into the midline, shoulders come back, and on an inhale, lift up, cobra pose. So if you haven't done this yet, feels kind of maybe stiff in the upper back, lower back. So we'll do a few. Inhale, pull the elbows and shoulders back, open the heart as you lift the chest. Exhale down. And I want to say in Cobra, it's not the amount of height we're looking for. Like coming all the way up here, straight arms, is not necessarily the goal. It's opening the chest and releasing the shoulder blades down the back. Also, the lower half of the body is turned on a bit, so we don't dip into the lower back. Exhale down. Let's do one more again, not the straight arms, that's not the goal. It's the chest opening, upper back. Exhale down. Inhale, come back up to modified plank or plank. So modified plank is here with the knees down and the shoulders over wrists. And then take a downward facing dog. Okay, downward facing dog is not in your wheelhouse, just not conducive on the wrist or whatnot. Then you can take child's pose. Maybe take it with the toes tucked. Okay, just about a couple breaths here. Walk it out in downward dog. Not worried about straightening the legs so much, but straightening the arms in that diagonal angle, spreading the hands, and rolling the shoulders onto the back, drawing the chest forward and down. And then secondary comes the legs, sitting bones up, legs straightening, so forth. And so just inhale, come up high into your toes. As you exhale, begin to slowly walk to the top of the mat. You can be bending the knees or trying to straighten the legs a bit more. And find that forward fold here. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Shoulders down the back and hands come up onto the shin. So hang out here for a moment and check in with your neck. You don't want a whole lot of wrinkles in the back of the neck, just a slight gaze forward. And just breathe in a flat back. Inhaling, exhaling, and slight tone up in the belly. And on your next exhale, back to that Uttanasana, full forward fold. Inhale this time, bend into your knees, create a flat back, and begin to come up, all the way up. So instead of that rounding up, we come up with a flat back, like you're opening the door. Your hips are the hinge, and you're opening up to the top. All right, so we'll do a full round now. Now that you know what's coming, we'll do it a little more at pace. You can modify as you need to. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant the hands, step back, modified plank or plank. And on an exhale, lower down, trying not to lead with the hips, but taking the whole body down at the same time. Untuck the toes, elbows pin in, shoulders back, heart opens as you lift, cobra or Bhujangasana. Exhale, back down. Inhale, lift up, plank or modified. Exhale, child's or downward dog. Just 2 deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale up high onto your toes, and this time your choice to walk or maybe step it forward. Big launch to the top, 4 little steps. And then come straight into that halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway. Exhale, forward fold Uttanasana. And open up the hinge of the door with a flat back. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Okay, let's go one more round. Do what you can here. Inhale, sweep the arms. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, gently make your way there. Take your time. You can take an extra inhale. And then as you exhale, flat as a board, controlled all the way down. Untuck the toes, inhale, lift, cobra. And exhale, release. Inhale, back to plank or modified. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. And classically, we take 5 breaths here. So 5 breaths, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, come up high onto your toes. Look in between your hands, and this time walk, step, or maybe you want to try that little hop, feet to hands. It doesn't matter, however you get there. So all the way to the top of the mat, we come straight into halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, rise back to mountain or Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Back to center, okay. And just that little bit of movement, cardio, linking breath with movement, maybe the heart rate builds up a bit. And so feel if you've been able to quiet the mind a bit more with a bit more movement or not, whatever it is, it just is. And just notice. Okay, make our way back down onto the mat. Inhale, bring your arms up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And as you exhale, bend your knees and just bring one knee down at a time. And we'll revisit this heart melting pose one more time. Hips over knees. Walk your hands forward. Draw the chest forward and down. You can keep the elbows bent and just bring the head closer to the ground. And again, take 3 easy breaths here. And a pose like this is so good, so start to come out of it. But a pose like this is so good for rounding through the spine and like texting forward. So it's basically we're activating these upper back muscles and opening the chest. So good for that. Let's turn our toes on for a moment. A little extra for our toes, tucking the toes, sitting back. And if this feels painful, you can be more upright here with the toes tucked a little bit less. And so just for a moment, see if we can find that. There's discomfort there for sure. Don't want it to be pain. And then you may be here or here. And just take this heart opening. Pull the shoulder blades close together. Open up the chest. And then just very gently lean the head over to one side. If it feels painful, skip. You get a little bit of neck stretch. And back center. And over to the other side. And if it's painful, skip. And back center. Release the arms out, relax shoulders, the feet or toes are a little bit on fire. So we'll come back here and wiggle them out. Little side to side motion. And then find seated, bring the legs forward. Put over down onto the mat. Feet are flexed, move the flesh of the buttocks away. One of my all-time favorites, greatest hits, is this staff pose. It's really great for posture. And I find it a very centering pose. Just steady gaze forward. Legs are straight or knees can be bent. Feet are flexed and toes are fanned out. You can even spread your toes even if you're wearing socks. And then hands to either side of the waist. Just really lift up and out of the lower back here. So your chest is popping up. Your neck is lengthening. And then close your eyes and take 3 easy breaths. You're trying to create that right angle between your legs and your torso. And your thighs spinning in. Okay, and from here, let's take one single leg stretch on both sides. So right leg comes in, knee out to side, and foot in towards the inner thigh. So this knee can come down, or you can put something underneath it if it's not going down. Sit up tall here, inhale. And as you exhale, try to lead with your chest instead of rounding forward. Don't forget about grabbing your foot. And just lead with your chest, flat back. Hands can be on the ground to either side. Inhale, lifting the chest, flat back. Exhale, going a little more forward. You even need to move the flesh of the buttocks away. Until you can't go any more forward. Just, okay, that's as far as I can go. Then we start to draw the chin in just a tiny bit, drawing the head down and maybe walking the hands a bit more forward. And again, just find what you can with it. Maybe grab your shin, your ankle, or maybe you find your foot. But just as good here as it is here. It's the effort, the sincerity put into it, not the end goal of touching your foot, really. And slowly start to come upright. Feeling that extra stretch in the spine and the leg as you come up. And just a moment, wiggle it out, feel the difference between sides, and then switch. And so this side, flexion through the foot is key to stretch the back of the leg. We want it stretching here in the hamstring. Of course, the lower back stretches, but it shouldn't be where the bulk of the stretch is. It should be more evenly stretched. And leading with your sternum flat back, just going forward as you can. You can't go any further, then start a little bit more, a little bit of rounding, reaching the arms, and find what you can here. Take another deep breath, softening your throat. And inhale, come back up. There's a newfound stretch in the leg, that's fine. Good stuff. All right, all the way down onto our backs. Nice, well-rounded practice. We'll come onto the back and just bring the knees into the chest. So you might feel a little achiness or soreness in the hip flexors, that inner part of the hip area because of this stretch we did earlier. Just releasing the lower back and bringing the hips back to neutral. And then as a last pose together today, we might take a happy baby, which is just I mean, it's a pose that looks a little silly, so you can grab onto the outer feet, peace fingers and peace sign onto the inside of the big toe, or grab onto the backs of the knees. Not straining to get to any part, but just finding what you can. Do a little rock side to side. Yeah, like I said, it's like a silly looking pose. It's a great stretch for our hips, our hamstrings, backs of the legs. And there's just like something calming offered here. It's silly. Like we all did this pose when we were babies. That's why it's known as happy baby pose. So close your eyes and just find the joy and this little rock side to side movement. Let go of being self-conscious about it. Please exhale out through the mouth. And then start to hug it in again. Squeeze in, relaxing the lower back. And from here, if there's anything extra you like to do, or you like to roll around the ankles or wiggle out the legs, whatever, spinal twist. Do whatever else you need to do in order to let your body fully settle into Shavasana, our final resting. So we come into the shortened version of our final meditation, and I'll do a little bit of guided meditation, and then we'll have a moment of silence. So take your time getting here, wiggle it out. If you've got something to cover over the eyes, grab your eye pillow or your cloth or whatever. If you want to make a heaviness over the eyes, it's just block out the light. A towel or blanket underneath the knees is always nice. Whatever else you like to do and modify. As you're settling in, once you get here on your own, take 3 deep breaths. Close your eyes. And let it go. Think about gravity pulling your bones deeper into the ground, your muscles, and where can you soften a bit more? Maybe it's your hips or your shoulders, or your arms and legs, or your chest or your head. And so go to this place of resting, letting gravity pull your bones heavy into the earth. Come back to your natural breath. And we'll do a quick body scan, release through the body. So bringing awareness to the top of your head. Feel the hair follicles make contact with your scalp. Bring your awareness and your breath there. Feel the back of the head, the skull heavy into the earth. Soften the wrinkles out of your forehead. Relax your eyebrows. Let the eyes melt back into the sockets as the eyelids are soft. Let the air flow easy through both nostrils. Soften the cheeks, feeling the air on the cheeks. Relax the ears. Bring awareness into the inside of the mouth. Relax the tongue, the jaw. Relax the back of the throat, soft palate. Relax through the top of the neck. Bringing your breath and your awareness down your body into the front of your chest. See if you can find some ease and softness in your heart. Let your shoulder blades melt back into the earth. Let your arm bones be heavy, your palms nice and relaxed. Relax your rib cage. Softness and release in your belly. Let the front of your hips relax to the backs of your hips, your buttocks unclenched and ease and relaxed. Tops of the thighs.
Relax the knees, the lower legs, shins, the calf muscles, the ankles, the bottoms of the feet, the whole of the feet. Just feel the whole body melting in. Get even more comfortable, becoming aware of your breath as it moves through your body. And take the next little while to really go deeper on your own. Be present, nowhere else to be or do. Can't go back to the past, can't fast forward to the future. Just be in this moment here, resting, eyes closed, body releasing. And taking time to reset, recharge. Yeah, so be here a little while longer on your own in silence. Shavasana. And slowly, gradually begin to deepen your breath. Taking deeper breaths. If you can count to 5 counts or 6 counts as you breathe in and 5 counts or 6 counts as you breathe out. When you're focusing on your deeper breath, it's been proven that this can scientifically help balance our body. The more we take about that 5 or 6 count even breath in and out, the more we can bring our body into rest response, balance, and ultimately better health,
well-being for ourselves. And so add in a little movement. However you like to move, wiggle out your fingers and your toes, full body stretch. And just begin to waken up gradually. Bend into your knees and plant your feet eventually. And in your own time, roll off to one side, whatever side feels most natural for you. Take a moment, pause there in the fetal position. And greeting yourself with kindness as you come up, gentle on the neck, and push yourself up off the ground. And make your way into a seated position. And that comfortable sitting up tall, rolling the shoulder blades down the back, making space to breathe, taking time to be and sit with what we're feeling, stretching out the body. It's so nice. And so just meet the hands back at heart center, whatever is running through the mind at this point, noticing any change in quality of mind, body, emotional state, and all that has arisen throughout the practice, any change from when we started until now. And honoring the process, honoring the practice, and the effort you put forth in this space that we share together. Take one Om to complete today's practice. Feel free to join if you like. Inhale and exhale to cleanse. Inhale and Om. Inhale, cleansing breath. Exhale out. Inhale. Whatever your intention was, take a nice deep breath and release it out into the world, that intention. Honoring this space, namaste, meaning that the spirit and the light, the seed of whatever we know as the soul within me bows to that within you. I am honoring and acknowledging spirit and the light within you when I say namaste. So with gratitude, as we end the practice, namaste to each of you. Thank you.